So today with us we have Vitalis Omambia, who works at Safaricom and handles cybersecurity services. So Vitalis,
Yes.
how much do SMEs approximately use when it comes to cybersecurity?
Okay, thank you so much, first of all, Vanessa and your team, for creating time to actually meet with me. Well, the question you've asked is very, very fundamental, and especially the age where businesses are actually operating. From the reports that I have access to, and actually they're publicly available, if we look at the Communication Authority, we realize that about 26% of SMEs today in Kenya spend below 1 million Kenyan shillings to act as an investment for their cybersecurity. So that tells you that organizations actually highly exposed with issues that are being brought in by cybersecurity, whereby fraudulent acts are happening within these organizations and all that. So there's a need for organizations and mostly awareness to be carried out to enable these organizations actually be aware and put more effort actually, and especially it starts from the leadership at the the top leadership level, the people who actually make decisions, who can help develop this culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we talk about SMEs and cybersecurity, what kind of threats do you think they face when it comes to cybersecurity?
Well, when I think about it, there are many threats if you think through it. The first threat that comes to my mind is the people. You and I, we are the first victims who can actually easily get compromised. I only need someone from outside who could give me, ideally, have a chat with me and find a way on how they can actually get, to these organizations. I have seen from my own research and from the experience that I have personally, whereby people take advantage of organizations that haven't really taken care of, the hygiene when it comes to security. I give an example whereby over 26%, around 26% rather, are the ones who've invested at least 1 million. So that tells you the vulnerability within the organizations is very, very, very immense, rather big. Another thing that comes to my mind, today organizations are taking their key resources. When I talk about key resources, these are the key information assets to the cloud. Organizations are trying to cut costs, yet leverage and actually make profits. So you'll find that instead of getting your own server internally, you'd rather actually take it to someone else on a third party to host it for you, or even get third party organization to come and run your IT department. So that means if there are no mechanisms, policies, and all that. So for me, I see that as one of many other reasons actually that these organizations are exposing themselves to actually bad people, how we call them, and all that, yeah. So another thing is, I've seen organizations, especially if you think about, you talked about the SME, they do not want to invest in resources.
So we've talked about SMEs. What about as a country? Are we protected as a country? Are there enough measures to protect us?
Well, wow. Vanessa, I'll be honest. There's no country in this world that is protected, and no one actually will ever stand up, including organizations, leading organizations globally, and now locally, if you look at it, that you'll say, because I've got this firewall, for example, or because I've hired the best talent in the industry, now I'm protected. No. How we look at it, continuously you have to ensure that you are actually using the latest, the latest tools. You have the people who are manning your network, for example, are well, aware of what is happening, what are the trends and all that. Now coming down to the country, well, Kenya today, we are actually the regional hub from a business point of view. We have about 4 submarine cables that have landed, and if you look at Safaricom, for example, and the other ISPs in the country, they are already rolling out fiber cables, network rather, across the country. That tells you, when you look at the GSMA report, it says about 86%, 87% of Kenyans today actually have internet access. What does that tell you? I've got my smartphone, for example. I'm able to get internet, and as long as I've got a smartphone, then I'm actually the first target and all that. But the government can actually help us. First, legislation is very key. I remember 2018, our president signed into law the computer crime bill. But it's just unfortunate, someone went back to court and said, oh, no, we are not ready and all that. So it's kind of been shelved. But it tells you something, Vanessa, to be honest. We are moving towards the right direction. When we have started thinking about we need to institute and actually put policies in place to actually protect us as a country. Currently, there's another data privacy bill that is in Parliament being discussed and all that. I don't know when it will be published, when it will become, become a law. But then we're actually moving towards the right direction. Awareness, creation, from the government point of view, the ICT, Ministry of ICT, the authority rather, the ICT authority, when it comes to CA, that is Communication Authority of Kenya. So they're all creating this awareness. And when I specifically speak now about Safaricom, we've come in and we're saying we need to actually step up and help our customers to actually navigate this whatever, be 100% protected. But together, as a country, as a people, and you, Vanessa, and me, we can be in a position to actually help this, making sure that we are protected, ensuring that we follow the laid down processes and procedure. We should, in short, be aware of our environment. It's the same way when I get into the internet, that becomes my environment. I need to be able to know who am I speaking with on the internet, what content that has been sent to me, is it legit, or someone is trying to harvest some information for me.
So when we talk about individual, like how do you take care of yourself individually, as you said, like on your phone, how do you make sure that someone doesn't hack your phone or someone doesn't hack your laptop? Is there a way of actually preventing that, or what measures can I take as an individual? Yeah,
well, there are a couple of measures we can be able to take from an individual point of view. One, I need to be able to ensure, one, do I have an antivirus, for example? That's the first thing. If I buy a phone today, doesn't matter which model, if I have a laptop at home, I ensure at least I've got an antivirus. Then another question is, am I paying for the license? If it's free, it's good at least you're aware. It's a free resource that you're using. This particular organization has given you to use, but then you can go a step higher. Maybe you pay around 100 shillings, for example, because I've seen a couple of other vendors, who are offering these services. And then now you pay something small per year, maybe 100 shillings, and then now you get to enjoy the resources to protect yourself. So the first thing you do, ensure if you have any key resource that needs to be protected, then do that. Another thing that comes to mind that we need to do from an individual point of view, be aware, that's what I said. I like reading to know what are some of the trends, what are people talking about. Involve yourself with the right group, for example, that talks about issues to do with security and how you secure yourself. And ask yourself today, when you go home, or rather if you want to, let's say, move to a certain location where you want to go and live, there are a couple of things that you look at. The first thing, of course, there's water, which is actually, goes hand in hand with security. You get it? So, in short, you look at the basic things. And then another thing that comes to mind is now the house, the shelter, where you're going to actually have a roof on top of you, basically to protect you from the sun, the rain and all that. It's the same thing today, internet. When I want to buy a phone or a laptop or a computer for the sake of it, I think about my environment. I look at who else is actually within my environment and where we're heading to, what tools are they using, how well then can I be able to protect myself. So in short, awareness is very key to understand the trends that are happening in the market. And be keen and listen widely what's happening. You'll even read in the newspapers how organizations, individuals are being hacked through their phones. And an example, today, your phone is a working tool. Yeah. You've got your banking stuff there, application. You ideally do all your banking stuff on your phone. Ideally, that's your laptop. Yeah. So then, nothing actually stops you from ensuring you best practice is actually applicable to your phone. Another thing I'll suggest, make sure you have at least a pin to your phone. Make sure your phone, for example, it's well locked. So that if you leave it somewhere, this bad person wouldn't come in and they start doing transactions or using your phone to commit crime. It's the same way to your laptop and all that. And there are many other solutions that I think they're available online, but then continuous awareness and talking about this topic like what we're doing today, it's very good because it is going to help our country and also help me as a person.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Is it legal for a spouse to actually access someone's personal phone, or are there any laws against that about like accessing your wife's phone or your husband's phone? Is it legal or is it okay? And I mean, what are the rules around that?
Well, wow. Let me just laugh about it. Yeah. So, ideally, I don't want to, when it comes to couples and families, they all have unique ways of operating rather. So then, the families have had, or couples will say, you can always access my phone anytime. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, you might find people, writing me messages, funny messages, probably someone trying to find something about you, but please don't take offense. And yes, this is agreements that couples have had. Yet you still find that couples, if I leave my phone there, don't touch. Or there's actually an unwritten rule that I don't have to touch your phone because else I might find things that will end up actually hurting ourselves and all that. So there's no rule that is written. However, unless now it's becoming a criminal issue whereby you do not actually, trust your husband, your wife and all that, or your families, it could be even siblings and all that, then I end up actually touching your phone and commit a crime. Of course, from when the security agencies will come in, they look for me, for example. So you'll luckily find that it's my spouse who probably used my phone to actually commit a crime. So then, yeah, that now becomes a police case. And it will luckily end up actually, bringing chaos if it's not happiness within your family when I take advantage of my spouse's phone because I know I can access it anytime to actually commit a crime. My suggestion, and I wouldn't want to talk about this because that's a family issue, is they should, as a family, as a couple, they should actually be able to set their own rules that can be able to govern how they operate and all that. And there's this rule that is actually not written anywhere. Just respect each other's privacy. I think that will actually help you as a couple to be in a position to, to stay together in harmony and in peace. Yeah. I think, yes, to actually move our country forward. Yes. Thank you.
Much. It was a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. I look forward for this opportunity again.
Thank you.